Okay, here's what we got. Here's a trunnion. Here's the groove where the cocking tube normally sits. I cut this thing in half, made a cross sectional out of it. Now, if you look, I painted the trunnion white, and I painted the chamber / barrel red. Here you can probably see the lines where the flutes are. That's what it looks like inside of your chamber right there. Oops. Here's the barrel face, chamber face, right here. Okay. Here's the recesses for the rollers, right there. That's where your rollers go and lock in. I'll try and get a better shot of it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Oops. But that's basically what it looks like on the inside of your trunnion. Okay. Now we have a bolt head, or actually a bolt head and a bolt carrier. You got your rollers, bolt carrier, bolt head. There's a slight gap here. Okay, it's not much, but it's a gap nonetheless. Right? Those parts have a gap all the way around it. Nothing touches. Now here's what happens. Whoops, give me a second, I'm going to put it on a tripod. Okay, now, when the carrier is slammed forward, there's a slight gap there. Let's just say, for example, with this instance, we're going to use a .003 gap. Okay? If you notice, the rollers rest right in that gap right there. Right in them little holes. The bolt face touches the chamber face. So here's what happens. When your carrier is unlocked after you charge it, you're going to have a gap here. That's your locking piece. Bolt head, bolt carrier, locking piece. There's a gap here when it's unlocked because the rollers are in. The rollers are pushing the locking piece backwards. When it goes to seat, the first thing that's going to happen is the bolt head is going to touch the chamber. Now the bolt carrier is being forced this way from the recoil spring, and it's going to close, and it's going to force them rollers inside of the recesses right there. The bolt locking lever keeps it from backing back out. The recoil spring keeps pressure this way. Okay, so what's happening is these rollers are being forced on that front wall right there of the bolt head, and it's forcing the bolt head tightly against the chamber face. Now when a shot's fired, your case is fully supported, and all of the explosion goes off in here and in your barrel. You're trunnion inside your barrel, not inside your trunnion or your bolt head. So now what happens is when the gases force the bolt head backwards, it forces them rollers in, and it makes a gap right there. Watch the gap again. Rollers go in, gap spreads. Carrier is now able to go backwards and cycle a new round because the rollers are inside. Now, it comes back forward again. You have your gap here. Hits the chamber face. Recoil spring pushes the carrier forward, locks your rollers out, but there's still a gap here, .004, or actually I said .003. Nothing touches that. Whenever the shot's fired, that gap increases. Watch. Whenever it comes back forward, it closes, but it rests at .003. Not touching .003. There's a gap there. So now let's grind off .010 and just make this gap a little bit larger. Now when the thing goes backwards again, you have an even larger gap, but nothing touches here. It's just a hole, it's just dead space. When it comes back forward, now it rests at .013, but there's still a gap there. So tell me how grinding the back of the bolt head fixes anything. I don't see it.